doesn't matter what it doesn't change the cost of the fancy VCR from the non-fancy VCR. It's just that one person paid the cost of the software, the other didn't. But I could decide as a company to have all the software in every machine, but only enable depending on how much you pay. And I could also have a scheme that if you want to change your mind and make a fancier version after you buy something, you get richer, you just let me know and I'll download over the internet modifications to the machine to make it do the fancy thing instead of only doing the not fancy things. And so software control brings tremendous power to remotely change what machines can do by simply enabling software that's preloaded. As long as the physical buttons that people have to push to make things happen are in place no matter what. And everyone's had a car where there's a place where the button would have gone, but there's no button there. But a higher grade model has a button. So if the car companies put a button there and they could download the function in software, you change your mind about the features your car has, and then being able to download it. Well, people imagine that this will all happen. And there are examples of it happening already. But every one of these devices needs an IP address. Now you say, is 4 billion enough? Well, now it's a question of imagination. How many commodities do we sell which have this sort of thing? How many billions of machines might that be? So people have realized this, and they've invented upgrades to the IP standard that we went through, which is bigger IP addresses, has some features that deal with security and other things that are the next generation of IP. So we talked about what's called IP version 4. And we really just talked about the addressing, but there's a lot of things we could have talked about. We didn't. That would have made this version 4. IP version 6. So they had version 5, which was never implemented. Version 6 exists. And routers in this country, some of them are equipped to handle IP version 6 as well as IP version 4. If your machine addressed or you had an address consistent with that standard, which would not be the one we went through. We have more bits allocated differently. So that exists. But the problem is that the features you get, if the series of routers that send you a message, some of them have IP version 6 and some IP version 4, you have an issue of not compatibility that you couldn't make it work, but you wouldn't get the advantages of IP version 6 because some of the routers couldn't extend the route. So if I want to give an address name that doesn't fit in the 4, when it got to a router